Hello friends, welcome to this video. In this video, I would like to explain maintaining high quality research PhD work or maintaining high quality PhD thesis, the need of the hour. We all know the primary objective of PhD work is to create unique contribution to a chosen discipline by creating knowledge. So to achieve this objective, the UGC in 2016 issued PhD regulations. As per the regulation, the mandatory publication condition before submitting thesis is an important matter. That is, research scholars must publish at least one research paper before submitting the thesis. It was issued by UGC in 2016. So what was the aim? By publishing research paper in good journals will lead to good PhD work or good PhD thesis. Now there's a question. Does forcing the students mandatorily publishing a research paper will lead to good research work or good PhD work will lead to good publication? So that's a question for which the UGC conducted a recent survey. Very recently. As per the survey, it was found that at present, students are forced, scholars are compelled to publish at least one research paper before submitting PhD thesis. When we see the analysis, the results of the analysis, and an average, 25.2% of scholars alone have published papers in the Scopus Index journals. And 75% of the scholars were forced to publish papers that are not Scopus referred journals. So 75% of scholars were compelled to publish, but in which journal? They are not Scopus referred journal, as per the finding. In addition, 19% of the scholars alone have published papers in more than one journal. So they might have published 2 papers or 3 papers. Only 19% of scholars. So publishing a paper is a serious activity. It is a time-consuming process. After sending a manuscript, we have to wait minimum 4 to 5 months to get the first review. There is a possibility of rejecting the paper in the first stage itself. So the scholars have to revise and resubmit the paper, and they have to wait for another 3 or 4 months to get the paper published. Then only they will be eligible to submit PhD thesis. So it's a serious activity. It's a time-consuming process. So publishing paper will lead to good PhD work or not. Will lead to good PhD thesis or not. The research findings say that publication of research paper need not to be linked to submission of PhD thesis, because publication of research paper will give undue pressure on the scholars. So how to improve the quality of PhD work? How to maintain the quality of PhD thesis? For which, what is suggested? A well-trained researcher, well-experienced researcher should act as supervisor. So there are certain rules, certain suggestions given by the survey committee. They say that publication of research paper is only a byproduct of the research work. That may not determine the quality of the PhD work or the quality of the PhD thesis. So we have to follow certain principles for maintaining good PhD work or good PhD or quality PhD thesis. The first suggestion is regarding supervisor and scholar. Both the supervisors and scholars should act as partners. For what? In maintaining high quality of PhD work. Very, very important point. Both supervisor and scholar should be a partner throughout the research work. For which what the supervisor has to do? The supervisor should act as a mentor, active mentor, effective mentor. So the supervisor should advise the scholar and train the scholar in research methodology so that the scholar can choose appropriate problem, suitable problem, effective problem, and amenable problem for research work. So that training, that learning should be given by the supervisor. That is why the supervisor should be a well-trained researcher, a well-trained supervisor, research worker. So he should have adequate research experience. Then only he can guide. Then only he can teach regarding research methodology. Second important point, teamwork, team building. Very important. Both the supervisor and the scholar should work in an understandable manner. Teamwork is required. Team spirit is required. Communication skill, another important. So these qualities should be taught by the supervisor to the scholar. Then only they will have interest. This is the first golden principle for improving the quality of PhD work or the quality of PhD thesis. The second important point, frequent presentation of the research work. The scholar should be advised to present the research work before the Research Advisory Committee, RAC. It may be every semester or it may be periodical, so that the Research Committee will give suggestions for improving the quality of PhD work. And they will give feedback. So the members of the Research Committee should be capable, should be well versed in research work. Then only they can give proper feedback, proper and effective suggestions for improving the research work. Third principle regarding examiners, external examiners as well as guide. As it is already mentioned, all examiners should be well-trained researcher. Well-trained researcher or well-experienced researcher will automatically mean it is understood. They should have produced good number of PhDs. They should have published a good number of research papers in Scopus index journals. or referee journals, then only they can impart effective knowledge and they can give training to the scholars. So all examiners, external examiners and the guide should be well-trained researcher, well-experienced researcher. They must be capable to give proper feedback and effective suggestions for improving and maintaining the quality of PhD work or quality of PhD thesis. In addition, the university should come forward in strengthening and improving the process of PhD work, for which the university should take efforts to give proper training to the scholars for publishing papers in the journals. So the conclusion is, as per the survey, as per the study, publication of paper in journals need not to be linked to submission of PhD thesis because it is only a byproduct. So these are all personal opinions of experts and the UGC chairman and also the recent study. So the need of the hour is to maintain good quality PhD work, to improve the quality of PhD thesis. For that purpose, supervisors and scholars should have interest, involvement, dedication in their research field. See you next video.